I mean, you have to look at the individual capabilities of players and say, when does it become the responsibility of highly paid, highly trained professional footballers at the highest level to be able to change the game themselves and to be able to assess what's on front of them in the pitch, right? The manager sets them up, something different happens on the pitch. These are not intel players that are programmed and moved around by a manager. These are players that can see the game in front of them themselves. So why aren't they able to make decisions?
So why wasn't Mourinho talking about that afterwards and instead chose to talk about the referee? Why is the referee not coming out to speak? No, sorry, Jose. We're not talking about that.
But I also think it's right.
Why were you lot so unambitious and unplanned?
But I don't think you can say they're unambitious when they've got a setup of a team that had such forward-facing options. He set it up with players that were on the front foot.
The first half.
Yeah, but we're talking about the players, not Mourinho's selection. Mourinho's selections are often considered to be negative.
Simon, why did he deflect?
Well, he didn't deflect for a start. Part of his conversation was to say how bad they were in the first half. And what do you want him to do? Do you want him to get down deep and right down into the muck of it and say players didn't perform? I think he said that without saying it. We were really poor in the first half. The team set up, the losing of Son changes the direction of the game and the manner perhaps they wanted to set up offensively. But by the same token, you've got to look at it and say, not because I have this hobby horse of going at players, but we are at a point now where are we saying that all players is a product of a manager's coaching? Aren't they individual? Aren't they capable of being able to assess a game and change themselves in the middle of a game or
it's a
adapt
balance,
to the
Simon.
circumstances?
It's always a balance. It's always a balance.
It's a
because
balance.
You're right. You do need some decision making in the game, and as you get older, you take that on board more. And normally, you'll have a manager with senior players who allow you some autonomy to do that. But ultimately, the plan should come from the coach, and that's what he's there for. Otherwise, there's no need for coaches. The players should make all the decisions.
Precisely.
It is a balance.
Of course there is. Of course that's the taking it to its literal extreme. But also by the same token, players are individuals. They cross the white line. They'll tell you that when things happen on a pitch that are different, a manager will like players to take responsibility. No one's going to sit there and say if something's not working, stick with it ad infinitum. There is an expectation that these players that are operating at the highest level are capable of not looking around at their manager for every single nuance and peculiarity of what they should and shouldn't do. They should make decisions at the top of their profession. In any other profession that you're at the top of your profession, you're capable of adapting without someone telling you how to do it every second.
You give Mourinho a pass on this Monday morning?
No, I don't give him a pass, but I think this agenda, I'm afraid, of not liking what he says. Ask him a question, he'll take it off on a tangent, he'll get in the part that he's doing an interview the way he wants to do it, not the way the media wants him to do it. If he wants to bring the referee into it,
the
that's
media
his
doesn't
gift.
want him to do.
They do.
The media has got no desire to see how Jose responds.
It's a lovely scenario when Mourinho criticises players because it steers into the narrative that he's taking it away from himself, he's deflecting from himself, he's got a blame culture. The fact of the matter is, why is it wrong to call out a performance? If you've set a team up with 4 frontline offensive players and they stink the place out, is it just the manager's responsibility, or when does it become that the players are culpable?
So Mourinho used deflect tactics and you blame the media.
Well, what's deflective about it? We were really bad in the first half. What's deflective about that? That's answering the bloody question.
They've just lost the North London derby.
But where's the deflection?
Because they were awful in the first half.
Where's the deflection?
Because the players weren't, presumably from what you're saying, doing what they were told to do by him.
No, didn't say that.
And what does he do? He comes out and says, we need to hear from the referee.
I didn't say that.
Why was that penalty awarded? Simon, is in one word, deflection.
How long was the interview? Because it wasn't a minute, was it? We've grabbed a minute grab, right? He spoke for about 10 minutes. So that was one part of it, right? And I do think it's a bit lightweight. I do think it's a bit flimsy. But it's the same thing that you and I were talking about last week, which is we want referees to come out and be accountable for their decisions and have a conversation about it.
Yeah.
So why is he not allowed to say it?
Yeah, because it's not happening at the moment, and he knew that.
But he's calling for it.
Yeah.
He's suggesting that it's something that going forward that we should be seeing.
Moment, didn't he?
Maybe he did for the moment of maximum impact.
Deflect.
Well, I don't see it as deflection because the glaringly obvious is that his team didn't perform very well, and he acknowledged that.
Now you've got it. It's 10:15. We're at it already. Jim White, Simon Jordan, and Danny Murphy, and we're live in talkSPORT.